Tell us about your American friends.
Surrender to me, and I'll give you a quick death.
Second Battalion? Your drop zone was north of Anfield. I'm afraid you boys won't be getting back to your units anytime soon. Ambush! The 82nd Division plan fell completely to pieces. Those landings have begun. There's 5 of you?
That's correct, sir.
Go, go, go! Get down, down! I might have something for you. Biz Ramsey. He is the highest-ranking SS officer currently in the field. We know about him because of Monsieur Decan over there and his friends in the Maquis.
He's an evil man.
If we take him out, we buy ourselves enough time to get our men off the beach.
If your man can get me close to him, I will kill him.
But if we want to help win the war, this is how we're going to do it.
6 men beyond enemy lines, fighting an entire German division.
This is why we came, gentlemen. Let's get this done.
You march with us, you follow orders.
Make every shot count. I'm not giving up on them yet. They haven't given up on us.
What are we looking for?
The war, Private.
Yeah, Private. Shouldn't be hard to find.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Murder Company, arriving in select theaters and digital and on demand on July 5th. It's your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. And joining me to talk all about Murder Company is the man, Pooch Hall. You know him from the game, Ray Donovan, and he's playing Sereno in Murder Company. How are you, sir?
Big Pat, what up, Playboy? I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. My character is Coolidge. I play Coolidge.
Oh, okay. There was like Sereno and Coolidge in the correct things I got, so my apologies.
Yeah, no, it's Coolidge. No worries, man. Thank you, man. We got Murder Company, due to come out in July, and I think people are going to be really excited about it. It's a war film based on true events, World War II. And then we're gonna go inside this film, inside this war, and see an event that happens with these soldiers that actually happen, and we get to see, what happens. Do they overcome? Do they make it? Who dies? Who survives? Will there be a sequel? You know what I mean? It's one of those things, bro. But World War II was a time in history where a lot of things happened during a pivotal time, especially in America, where racism and segregation was big back home, and for people who aren't familiar with World War II, Patrick, but Black soldiers, yes, they were allowed in the military, but they weren't allowed to fight. You see what I'm saying? And I think that my character representation, how I get involved with these cats was very it was interesting, because I wasn't supposed to be with them. So when Black fighters were allowed to fight, they stayed amongst themselves. That's just how it was. And I get separated from my unit, and here we are together going on this mission to help a Frenchman. So, it wasn't about black and white back then. It was about brotherhood, fighting on the American flag against the ultimate racist hater nation, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Sir, Pooch, I love how you went right to it, because I wanted to get there. Representation is really what I'm all about. I'm a veteran myself.
Okay.
So I was really looking forward to this. I'm into history because we need to learn from history.
Facts.
And my wife's grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman, and
his
plane actually uh got hit. He was like in a camp until he got saved by the tanks. I forgot the guy who ran the tank battalion or whatever, the Panzer tank battalion. So like we have a whole family history with this. So I was very excited to see your representation, you
That's what's
showing
up.
and proving. And actually there was some that y'all even spoke about it in the film. So man, yeah, what a blessing to have you in there. And I'm also curious. I want to do my history to see, you know, within this, although again, we don't know too much about it, if there actually was a brother on this joint, but I'm glad that we had you repping and showing and proving in Murder Company, man.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for your service. You know, my hat goes off to the men and women of the U.S. military. One of my best friends is Army Special Forces enlisted right now, Chris Melberg, and he and I were talking.
Shout out.
During this film, yeah, talking during this the production of this, and he was like, "All right, you make sure you're holding the gun right. Make sure you load it.
Yes, sir. Because we always look for that.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because he's like, I don't want you looking crazy out there. You know. So we had Bulgarian special forces and Mossad special forces, tacticians or technicians helping us, learn, the military side of it. Because we did all the training in Bulgaria. We didn't do anything here in the States. And we didn't have that long to train.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
how was
we
that?
didn't have that long to train, man. So we were on like that fast track of getting the film done because, excuse me, right now and just in Hollywood, we're between streaming and the theater, like, we got to get these movies out, and it's tough where it's like we doing quantity with quality. And I feel that when I read this script and I saw the character Coolidge, the first thing I said was like, so there was a black cat with these dudes.
Yeah.
And so I guess how it turned out was he got separated from his unit that got ambushed, and then he just was in a way like a straggler per se. I mean, of course you have to kind of make it fit the story, but he has a not a deserter, but getting like kind of stranded and realize like American, it's just like, okay, so why not? So now with this company, he was with this company until he was able to get back to whatever base that they were going to get back to when they left or what have you. Was going to be something to where get back to his unit. But what we show is the brotherhood of these 5 guys from these different units coming together for this mission, where I'm not looking at it as a black and white thing. I'm looking at it as a brotherhood to where we got to come together to survive. And the fight is out there. And the fight is the ultimate racism, the ultimate hatred, the ultimate evil with Adolf Hitler. And so at this point in time, I need you just as much as you need me. And then you kind of get through the bull crap of, the ignorance of why aren't we coming together? And then, these guys are my guys. And so you have someone looking out for me like Will, who is awesome, like Giles, like Joe, like I'm seeing the poster. Like, these are my dudes for real. And, when you're out in it, and I never want to undermine or disrespect the soldiers who are actually really doing it, but feeling like you're really in it, after, Shane yells cut, I'd be like, damn, like us going through this, I can only imagine how it really is out there with them, to where, man, I want to make sure. And that's another reason why I would talk to Chris, is that I want to make sure that I'm representing you guys to the fullest. At the time, my dad, who recently passed away, because my dad was military Army, and my uncle was Marine Recon, and so my dad just recently passed away. I wasn't able to really say, hey, Dad, what was your take on anything? Like, this is growing up because he told me a lot about, because he was in the Korean War, and he used to have all the books and read stuff to me, and and he raised me. He was military dad. He was strict, but he was fair, and he taught me a lot of what I know today. Is do everything with class, respect, manners, and being kind. And so I love representing my culture, but I also want to integrate good people within it so that people don't like not want to learn about us or be involved, or think that, oh, you guys are only rappers, or only you guys can play sports. Like, that's the ignorant mentality of like way back when. People don't understand we had so much to offer, and once we got involved, then it was like, whoa, this should have been done a long time ago. So and right now the evolution of the military, going from us, blacks and whites and other minorities and cultures, into where now we have women. So we're fighting under one flag, man. It's always good to represent your culture and your way of living, the right way, and within, the walls of good and great energy. That's what I'm about. But I'm also understanding that, we're different too, but I love being in America and being in a free country, because I've been, like, going to Bulgaria and other third world countries I've been at. We have it so good. And I hope that we come together and be a part of that goodness some more. You know what I mean? I hate like what's going on out there as far as bad energy and, divided. That's whack. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Pooch, you just dropping gems on me right now. There's a lot I want to throw back at you, brother.
I'm sorry.
First off, rest in peace to your father. I'm sure he's looking down and proud at you,
Thank you.
man. From the serviceman perspective, bro, I salute you on just seeing that and respecting that. And I want to tell you, you pulled it off in this project.
Thank you.
I, just like you, I celebrate my culture, but also we celebrate. I love that when I was in the service, while I'm a proud Filipino and my boy is black, we still come together and we find the combination that brings us together, and we go handle our business, and that's what I love. And y'all did that in this film. So, man, just all the gems you said, bro, much respect and so appreciative. And then I want to say this film kind of carried that. So also salute to the writers that, while we don't know for certain that we had a brother on Murder Company, the fact that they put that representation in there to show it and show that we can all come together within that. I thought they did a good job in at least giving that material in there. With that being said, while I'm not going to spoil the film, your character that kind of gives us all of that, bro, you had the best arc, because not only do we have to show you come together with all these white cats, let's be real, but then, you come together, but then there's also, what are we doing here? Why are we fighting? And your character has that inner struggles within that. So your character really kind of shows that apprehension as humanity and like, what are we fighting for? What was that like, man, to just get those additional notes? Because to me, you're the soul of the film, my man.
Oh, thank you. I'm just me, brother. I mean, for me, man, I take everything that I do serious. And like my dad used to say, man, he said, whatever you do, be the best at it. And he said, you always put your best foot forward. And, I always quote my dad, because he gave me a lot of the foundation in which I have today. And like I said, as far as what you guys have done and do as far as military personnel, when you actually think about it, Patrick, and you're in this war per se, I don't give a shite what anybody says. It's scary. So nobody wants to die, bro. Let's keep it 100. Nobody wants to die, and nobody wants to get shot. Nobody wants to get blown up. Nobody wants, a truck to fall on them or get attacked by, you know, there was bears and all types of wild stuff in Germany and stuff like that. So, or even the you know, on D-Day when people, you know, were coming off the boat and drowning or whatever. I think that when you think about it for a second, when the humanity or the humanitarian part of you of like, I could die here, where, wait a second, I'm fighting racism back in the States on some crazy stuff. And my character, Coolidge, I believe he's from Philly. And it's like, I've been fighting this crap back home, but now I'm fighting it here, and then I'm fighting it for him. You know what I'm saying? This was one of the reasons why I think we came together as a like when people talk about the Buffalo Soldiers or the Tuskegee Airmen, it's like nobody really understands us except us, so we got to like come together. And I think when I get integrated with these cats, we're all human. We all have vulnerabilities and feelings. So at the same time, they were scared too. So when you see the human side of them to where, hey, Coolidge, I hear you, but this isn't about you. This is about us coming together to survive. So, you know, it's one of those things to when you realize, yeah, this is why I joined the military and why I'm in it. And for the people who all the research that I did, Patrick, you saw a lot of how the soldiers were like, they wouldn't let us fight. We weren't allowed to fight. And no matter how good we were as far as, you know, the skills and jobs that we would always excel, because that's just something for me, not just as a Black man. Whatever you do, you got to go above and beyond. You constantly have to be evolving. And from what I read with a lot of the soldiers, that's just what we had to do. And that's a mindset that I feel has escaped a lot of people today. People sometimes just settle on basic or just, I'll just do the 10 questions and answers and keep it at that, as opposed to do the 10 questions, then maybe write a synopsis after, or let me do some research and let me go show you some pictures of the actual event. Just doing a little extra to where it's not about them. It's about you educating yourself and being a student of the game. So when my character had the reality, was faced with that reality, we're like, wait a second. I just said I wanted to fight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say I wanted to go against like a million guys with just 5. But then they're like, whoa, that's what this is. You don't get to choose how the mission goes. You understand? And guess what? We're all going through something. This war on the big scope. There may be another story that you may find within World War II where it was one guy. Maybe there's one Rambo of World War II who had to go against a whole bunch of people. So when the realization of Coolidge, where he said, you know what, when he realizes who these guys are to him, it's the realization of they're my family now, and I'm going to fight for my family, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get home and to help them get home. You know what I mean? Because when you get out of self and you make it about someone else, you know, then you're able to not think per se, but you're going off of the instincts, and or you're not thinking, because I sometimes think, and this is kind of, it's tricky how I'm gonna word this, Patrick. As a fighter, because I boxed.
Yeah.
When you train as much as you do, you're going off of instinct and feel and flow and energy. But as soon as you say, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that, you're no longer trusting yourself. You're thinking about what you want to do, but not understanding there's another person who's fighting you, who's coming with his own agenda and fighting, you know, plan. to where as you're thinking about, I got to be technical, it's like, no, the technical's already there. That's why we train, to where you let go, trust yourself, trust your guys, trust God, trust the energy, but you keep your eyes and ears open, your nose clean, and then you just move and react. And therefore, you should be able to accomplish everything that you set out to do, because it's embedded in you that you are this guy, you are this vessel, you are this. And sometimes you need those wake up calls to say, hey, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, they're right. You know what? Let me get out of myself and get into this fight where I trust myself and trust God and my training to get the job done. I guess I don't know if I answered it.
Oh, like no, man. Trust, you did, man. Respect. I'm really thankful that your character had layers. It was more multidimensional. You know what I'm saying? Because well, as an actor as well, myself,
okay,
like, we get one note stuff, man. You the thug, you this cat or whatever. I'm so tired of that, bro. I'm more than just the stereotype, and I'm sure you feel that, man.
Family,
so I love that your character was so multidimensional, and as a veteran of color, shit, as a soldier when we was out there, bro, like, you know, you treat me one way, they treat me a different way home. You know what I'm saying? We can come together, but there's layers to that. So just all of that played into your role. And I love that you studied that. And I hope that that's what people will take from this film, whether they believe it or not, you know, that whether, you know, you were a part of this troop, you know, that they had a Black soldier in this group. Do the research and then also learn more, because that's all that they can do at the end of the day, is hopefully, and we can make, you know, they can learn from history. And, you know, so yeah. Go ahead.
Pat, I want to shout out our director, Shane Dax Taylor, who's a friend of mine, and we've known each other before getting on this film. We played basketball together. We've hung out together. We've talked on a number of different things, topics. You know, we're both, you know, fathers, and you know, Shane is an actor's director. And what I mean by that is he'll have his vision as a director and say, okay, so this is what I'm thinking, fellas. And we'll come in there and he'll have a shot set up and he'll look at his notes. And of course, sometimes when you get on set, it's a little different. We have to make some adjustments. But the one thing that I love about Shane, and this is one of the reasons why certain sports teams do well, where the coach will not listen to the players. He'll say, okay, I know what each and every one of you guys can do, but here's the game plan. Do you have a different approach, or is there something you may want to try? You see what I'm saying? And that collaborative effort is always good. But then it's also based off of us being the pros that we are, to where we're not overselling something or trying to make it about, I want to make this about me. It's not about that, because you'll shine regardless. But what I loved about Shane was he was willing to listen and even take what you were thinking under consideration based off of, well, Shane, I had this thought, or like, you know, boom, boom, boom. And we see certain shots, certain scenes, and making certain adjustments to make it work for the scene. And then we'd also check with each other to say, hey, how do you feel about that? Or can you give me this line over here? Or can you throw this extra line over here so I can, you know, or what have you? And I think that was the one thing that made this fun. And when you see certain projects, and sometimes people are like, I wonder, did they really hate each other on set? Or I wonder if they really liked each other on set. I mean, for the most part, you had a lot of, you know, you have professionals who can kind of like get into the work, and maybe some people use those real emotions to help with the character connection or what have you. But it's also trusting yourself, standing strong in your belief and your choices, but then also having a director who you can kind of collaborate with and say, hey, you know, I had a question, or like, you know, what's your thoughts on here? Where we all trusted each other, and then Shane made it work. And you got to have a great coach to help teams get that win. So Shane, having played sports and him being a natural leader, he came together and made this happen because the powers that be, from the being in Europe, the language barrier. I can say something to someone who English may not be their first language, and they're shaking their head yes, like they understand, but they really don't.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I want to set up this crane shot right here, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, Shane steps away, and then they set up a dolly shot with the explosions over there. And Shane's like, what are you doing? No, I said crane. You said you're not dolly. You know what I mean? This is like crazy like that. So Shane was very hands-on, and he had to be because, you know, it was crunch time. It was fourth quarter. So, you know, Shane had to do a lot more work than us because as he's trying to get the shot, he's trying to direct. He's also trying to get the language barrier down. And he's also trying to hear what the studios and all them are saying. You know what I'm saying? Out there with us in the rain. There's times it was cold. There's times it was hot. And, you know, times where the explosion didn't go off when it was supposed to. Then maybe it goes off a little after, or, you know, all of a sudden we have to wait because there's all wild horses running through the shot. There's all types of things happening, bro. Yeah. But it's an experience to where you don't panic, you stay cool, and you make the adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's great about Shane, man. So we all felt comfortable being there with each other. The clothes, you know what I'm saying? You didn't wear them clothes, man. Them clothes were you. They were heavy.
This is true, dog. That is true.
Bro. And you know, Pat, so there are times at lunchtime, man, we would have to take our clothes off to dry because whether it was cold, rainy, or hot, like you're sweating.
Yes.
You're sweating. And then if there's action, like as soon as they say action, your mind goes into, all right, it's game time. Like, no pun intended, but it's like it's game time. And then all of a sudden you got explosions happening and all these special effects from bullet sounds and all that, and you feel like you're in it, bro. You are leaking. You are leaking, bro. And that was almost every day. And you're tired. So that's why I was saying, man, we're lugging all that shit around. I was just like, bro, imagine real soldiers who can't take it off, who can't go to a trailer after, who don't have the catering service laid out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
sir.
I go, man, we better stop complaining because there's people who do this for our freedom.
Yes, sir.
Like, yo, come on, like put that into perspective.
Yes,
and
sir.
I do. So I appreciate y'all for what y'all have done to keep us free, and what my dad does, my boy Chris, and other military cats like Steve Conowall, another one, my birthday twin, and one of my other best friends, Steve Conowall, who had died. You know, he unalived himself because he was going through it off. But he did, I think, two or three tours in Iraq. And the last tour, he saw his best friends get blown up in a Humvee in front of him. So then he that's how he got out, because so the Humvee in front of him blew up, and then the other one caught on fire, and then that thing exploded. So he got medically discharged.
Yeah. But
it did a number on him. And and I know we're in Black Men Mental Health Month. Steve was white, but the mental health thing is a real thing. And I'm not trying to discredit by calling it a thing, but mental health is something that we got to pay attention to, especially amongst us, you know, just culturally. People think that therapy is a weak thing, or like, oh no, that's not for me. How am I gonna like sit down and listen to someone? They don't know who I am. It's first of all, it's okay to not be okay. And those inner issues that we may be dealing with, and right now everyone's going through it, to share those things. It's not about somebody telling you who you are. It's about them helping you find tools to deal with some of those issues that may be floating around in your brain. Because as men, as providers, as protectors, as fighters, we think that we got to have it all together all the time. And it's okay to not. And we have feelings too where, hey man, I'm not having a good day today. or like stuff right now is just like not fun. Like it's okay to feel that way, man, but you got to share that stuff. And also, with that being said, you know, you talk to a professional and get those things out, and nobody has to know. Nobody has to know. So I'm sitting here, we'll be out there, and all of a sudden in this clothes, these wool clothes, it just starts raining in the middle of the thing. And the shit was already heavy. So now we in a shot, helmets on and stuff. It just starts raining. And we're all like, all right, you know, run for cover, or like, hold on, let's just like hold the shot when we cover the cameras. But like, y'all, they said the rain will pass in a second. But now you sopping wet, bro, and it's heavy. And then there's ants, there's bugs, crazy stuff. And then you like, oh my God, yo, I'd be like, bro, we're actors. Imagine the cats in the real joints where they can't, and they got to stay quiet. Or if they make a sound, they get blown away, or they get attacked or something, where they got bugs crawling on them or inclement weather. I can see how that can play a number on people's mental. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys take care of your mental health and address any feelings that may be having you feel some kind of way. Because as a soldier, man, I like I said, I commend y'all. And you know, it's not always where if you feel like someone wants to help you. You know what I'm saying? It's not always where you feel that way. But we got to sometimes not be too stubborn and say, hey, I'm not cool today. And then it's like, whoa, what's going on? It's like there was a time where this happened in whether childhood or whether military or whatever, get that stuff out. And I think as an actor, how I feel in my personal life can affect how, you know, or what I channel into my characters and so forth. And so when you think about what the people have done before you, and the history and the research that I learned, and you think about that, you put that stuff in perspective. That's why you have a lot of great actors like Denzel, Jamie, Will, Robert Downey Jr., Leo, you know, Gene Hackman, just to name a few. It's like John Voight. They go through these things as far as getting research to try to make it as authentic as possible, to give the representation within that character of whatever that character is experiencing, going through. And for me, as this soldier, back then, it's almost like all the crap that they have gone through, we're bringing this to this whatchamacallit, and I wanted to make sure I represented that in every scene that I had, or even when I wasn't like the focal point, that I'm doing it to help my brother achieve whatever his goal is in the scene or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do for each other. You know what I'm saying? Whether in sports, whether in the military, or whether even the workforce. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. Do your part.
Pooch, man, first, rest in power to your friend, man. I'm honored and blessed and thankful you shared that with me. Bro, this has probably got to be one of my favorite interviews in quite some time. I interview a lot of cats every week.
Thank you.
But everything you shared, you touched on stuff that really mean a lot to me, in regards to representation, in regards to just now, in regards to mental health. And we as men, I go through that a lot with my boys, because that's PTSD is real. And so just all of that, man, I'm actually slightly tearing up, man, because I felt that. And I'm very thankful for what you shared and said. Means a lot to me, man. So
I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, sir. Bro, Pooch, man, I'm like trying to like, hold up, bro. Let me man up. But then at the same time, it's good to cry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It is good to cry. We need to do that more and share that as men and talk, because we may lose some of our best. And
Facts.
Pooch, sir, such a pleasure and an honor to talk with you, man. I can't wait to see how the world's gonna see and appreciate Murder Company and my man Pooch Hall. And man, and as you go along, man, you became even more of a favorite of mine, bro. I love what you did with Game, Ray Donovan, Murder Company. Bro, when you get your next project, I need you to come through. We need to chat again, man. I salute you, sir. Thank you, Pooch.
I'll let your boy Pat. You keep making it do what it do, brother. Lots of luck and success on everything, fam.
Yes, sir. Pooch Hall, man, everybody. Pooch Hall is in Murder Company as Coolidge. Check it out when it arrives in select theaters as well as on digital and on demand on July 5th. I'm Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. Yo, there's a cut. Rachel. Thank you, Rachel.
All right. I recorded on my end as backup. You have 20 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you, Rachel. Pooch, a pleasure to chat with you, my brother.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes,
You know
sir.
I'm one
Thank
of them.
you. Let's go. Thank you, man. You get me
Yes,
hype
sir.
already. I appreciate
I
you.
appreciate you.
All right, brother.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
count us in to help me with my edit because I'm going to put the trailer right in front of this joint.
That's
All
what's
right.
up.
Here we go in a 1, 2, 3.